up, everyone? Kind of a special video here. La Luna Social and my girl Myra, who creates that beautiful white dress I wear while playing the crystal singing bowls. She asked me to answer a few questions for La Luna Social. I'll write this up, but I also thought I would do a little video for them, because sometimes I feel like it's a cool transmission doing video versus you just looking at pictures and reading my responses to my questions. So, whole option for everybody today. So, sorry if I fumble through some of these questions. They're amazing, but they are intense questions and, somewhat personal, and I haven't shared a lot of this stuff, so I'm not sure entirely how to answer some of it. So, and I'm going to kind of take you through like an ideal day, because every day is different and, it just depends. So, my mornings are like my most favorite time. So kind of my biggest struggle in the morning always is I can't do all my favorite things in the morning. Like I can't surf, meditate, work out, get a juice, like all those things, because by the time I do have that, it's like 9 o'clock, which is no longer morning for me. So I like to get up usually no later than 6 o'clock, and generally a little earlier than that, depending. And on an ideal day, I'll do, a simple meditation. I've spoken before about Kirtan Kriya, which is the Sata Nama with the fingers, and do either 11 minutes or 31 minutes, depending on my schedule. And then a few other like personal meditations or just a silent one, depending on how I'm feeling that day. But I feel like it really like pulls things together and allows me to focus what I'm doing. And it helps me like clear up my to-do list, because I'm very aware of my to-do list coming in when I'm meditating, and it doesn't feel right. So it's nice to kind of clear that out and center it before your day. Then generally working out comes next, whether it's something cardio like hills or lifting or whatever. I kind of run the gambit between more intense things like CrossFit to surfing to yoga. So I really switch it up, and that's intensely comes first in the morning. After that would be my like tinctures and potions. I thought maybe I'd bring them all out here, but I decided not to. I do a lot of like the cordyceps and maca and vanilla mushroom protein, a lot of things you can find in like the moon juice pantry section. My kind of thinking with that is, who really knows what they do, but they definitely don't hurt, and they make me feel, it's like a nice ritual. Like they make me feel like I'm doing something good for my health on that day. So I generally do that with like a buttery brew, coffee or black tea in the morning. Spirit animal. I had for the longest time on like the background of my phone, I had my spirit animal totem, and that I did a reading a long time ago, and that was the lion. And I love that because of its like leadership qualities, but also of its like quiet strength. Like you're a leader without having to like be a leader, without having to be like so out there all the time. And I love having that one. So I generally have that as like the background on my phone, because I feel like during the day I can pull strength from it, and it's a great reminder to have. Trying to think. The other one I love is I love dolphin. So I don't know if that's my spirit animal one, but when I do like animal totem readings, that's like one of my favorite ones to get. Not because I love being in the ocean, but also because of the record and memory that the dolphin has with being in the ocean, and the record of the whole world and universe coming together is generally seen through the eyes of the dolphin, or sometimes whale, depending on your tradition. So probably those two are the ones I connect with most intensely. everyone just needs a little bit of the lion. And so when I got that, I was really, it like kind of for me validated some of the things that I think about myself, but at the same time serves as a reminder, because sometimes you don't always live in that very intense, I don't know, what word am I looking for? That intense, like, intensely confident place. So it's a nice reminder to have. Man, Myra got some good questions in here. It's like, it's taken me, maybe she sent these to me maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I looked at the questions, I was like, gotta go some places with these. The essence, though, of cam jewelry is like beyond design, because yes, design is important, but I design the things because I want the feeling and the transmission of like confidence and good vibes and just everything positive to come from me and have you carry through your day. So that's why I clear jewelry. That's why when I package it, I send some good intentions. And if you've ever gotten anything on my site, I ask for you to set an intention for your jewelry. And it took a really long time for me to be okay with going there on my website, because there's all these things that I practice, and I wanted to share them with everybody, but it seemed so intensely personal that I didn't know quite how to do that. So by having customers set an intention when they purchase the jewelry, and then I try to infuse whatever I can of that intention into the jewelry, into the packaging, into kind of everything. It takes a big part of me and brings it to you. So I'm hoping that just all that goodness comes through however you interact with me. That's a lot why I wanted to do, my video series, and why I wanted to record this on video, because words don't always push through this boundary. And I like when people can see how I deal with these questions, because I don't talk about them very often, and I don't talk about kind of the more woo-woo side of things in my business. So it's a nice change. All inspiration has to come from nature and from feeling and from sitting on the ground and being outside and being in the water, because if any of you are out there and you're creative, you kind of know that when you have an idea and you have it literally just shows up. So in order to be inspired, you have to clear that space and allow it to come in. If you're always busying yourself and not taking a moment to sit on the ground and be present, be still with nature, I think it doesn't allow you that space for the inspiration to come in. So where that inspiration comes from, I can't really say, but I know that when it comes, it's usually when I've made space through nature or time, or I don't know how else to say that except for nature and space, because it just shows up. That's why people can open people up to creativity, and you can become more creative by listening to other people. But when it comes to the essence of creativity, it just shows up, and you just hope that tomorrow when you have to design something, it shows up, which is ties into my morning rituals, which is why I try to do the meditation or go to Kundalini or sit on my mat different times to create that space, so I can tell the energy, hey, I'm still here, I'm still listening, I'm still putting it to work. So if you could show up, that would be amazing. It's just thinking it back and forth. What is your daily ritual to stay connected to the creative flow? So I feel like I kind of touched on that. I don't want to like hammer it into the ground, but space, nature, making sure that you're doing what you need to do to keep yourself here. Like as soon as your mind starts like going on that crazy, spiral of, this order and that order, and what does this client think and what does that retailer want, and you're like spinning all off into space, like that's when you have to like sit down, do this, connect, and push everything out so that you can stay connected to that creative flow and stay connected to any of the flow that's happening with nature and with energy. What makes me feel graceful and victorious? I think when you have that like feeling within yourself that you realize that those two words are within yourself. Like no one else can make you feel graceful. No orders or, attention can make me feel graceful or victorious. It all has to come from here and how I deal with myself and with my surroundings. So sometimes I feel like during the day or during the week, you have that intense feeling that you're like, that's me. Like it is all right here. And it's that kind of, it's the distance from the external validation and pressure and those kinds of things. And it's the internal validation and whatnot that really resonates, and you're just like, yeah. It's like when you're in your car and you're like got the music going, you're just like, this is it, right here. So this came up because I do have crystal singing bowls that I use for clearing crystals, clearing jewelry, infusing them with things. And I've had some inquiries about doing sound baths, but I've only really done it for like family and friends and in more intimate settings. So I will be expanding that. It's a little scary and I'm a little nervous about it because like I said, I've kept all these things so personal. So it's weird for me to like even be talking about me pulling out my bowls with a perfect stranger and having them feel any sort of way. Like I feel sometimes that's kind of an audacious goal, is to think that you can make them feel some way. I think the best you can do is hope that after, sitting with me and using the bowls, that they feel that calm energy that you feel when you play them. Like if you've ever played bowls, you know that you're just like you're very much here. And so I'd hope that if I played them for somebody else, they can feel that like pushing off of you and resonating off of you, both from the vibration of the bowls, but also from your own aura. So I'm being pretty new to it and pretty open to understanding how people feel. So that's kind of an open-ended question, but I do hope that they would at least feel just like settled and feeling the really calming vibes of the bowls. I feel like now thinking about it, I'm like, ooh, pull them out, guys, or listen to a track. It's like, it changes things. Full moon for me is pretty simple right now. I use it to cleanse all the crystals in my house. I use it to cleanse the crystals I use for my jewelry. I also just like to sit in meditation, usually do tea ceremony, something pretty simple, but, with me, I may start, bringing in a group of women here in LA and doing something with them, whether it's like, I don't know, we haven't really fleshed that out too much, but right now it's just like me with a meditation, tea ceremony, and cleansing the crystals that I have in the house. As far as new moon is always new moon goals, wishes. I've been doing that for like maybe 2 years now, is every new moon writing handwritten in my journal new moon goals. And there's lots of information you can find about that online. It's not, I didn't come up with that. That's something I think a lot of people do. But new moon is amazing for setting intention and just saying, you respect the flow and whatever it brings, but these are the things you're hoping for. And I guarantee you write it out like a few times, like a few months in a row during the new moon, things shift around. It's kind of remarkable. So that's one of the big things I do during the new moon. And once again, meditation. I attempt to stay within the lunar cycles, and doing Kundalini and working with Rama. That's really taught me a lot about, different glandular flushing during different new moon cycles, whether it's the 4th day, the 11th day, new moon, full moon. I think it's something people are really paying attention to, which I love, because hopefully it helps other people like it's helped me. I always like to start with what I'm grateful for. And I think obviously I'm grateful to be doing this and even having access to a community like this, and like La Luna and Myra and Kundalini and Rama. That's been a game changer in my journey. And then being able to integrate that with what I do with jewelry and design, and then spread that to the community that I'm attached to. So I'm really grateful for how those are starting to weave together and interact, because it's something I never would have thought would happen, like connecting my spiritual goals and design and jewelry in my personal business. It's been amazing to weave that together. As far as 2016, seeing where that goes and see how I feel like women in general are popping up left and right to come to community with each other, and I think that's been showing up in my life since I moved to California, and I think it's really great. So I hope that continues to spread in my life, and also interweave itself. So La Luna Social, thank you for these questions. I hope I really was able to transmit the energies and that I was feeling about these. It's wonderful to share, and it's wonderful to have a community that's interested in my answers. That's such a new thing for me, and I feel like such a beginner. Oh, I swear to God, I feel like a beginner all the time with this stuff. So thank you for whoever is listening and watching that. Okay, peace.